You'll be ready to go. No.
We are, and we're recording.
Oh,
so,
fantastic.
welcome back to Proper Chat. I am one of your hosts, Abs. I'm here today with
LB.
And Bill.
Right. So,
Back again.
back again.
I'm
Billy-
becoming a
Billy.
regular face.
Yeah, you are, mate. You
It's
just
good. I like a three-way conversation because it's like you've always got something to discuss. Haven't
I
you?
feel like at this point though, this is like my third one. I need a t-shirt or something, boys.
We
At
don't-
this
we-
point,
even we don't have
I need
t-shirts,
something, boys. I need something. Come on, this is the third one.
we need to get some merch, I think.
Some merch, Proper Chat.
Mate, how much did you pay for that, bro?
£1. Oh no, we're just about to get into snacks.
For
I
a pound,
bought-
that's not bad, honestly. Because
£1.49 for 5 of these, which is pretty much the same.
but we
shit.
went to Aldi for them.
Yeah.
So I went for Jack Link's meat snacks. It's beef jerky, but it's sweet and hot.
I was about to say, I've
Today.
never tried the sweet and hot before.
And it come with a little silicone packet that you're not
Yeah,
allowed to eat.
It's
So
a deoxygenator to stop them from going soggy in the packet.
yeah, I did not know that. I thought it just come with leather shoes.
No, the whole idea is that it's supposed to remove the
Right.
oxygen from inside the bag,
It's
so it removes the
Sweet and
moisture.
hot. Try some of that shit.
I'll try a bit. I'll just try a little bit.
Dig in,
Not
lads.
really a little bit, is there?
Oh my.
That's nice.
Mmm.
So if you need some beef jerky as a pub snack,
Mm.
Jack Link's 100% lead beef,
No, it's fantastic, actually.
sweet and hot.
I do think, just to carry that chat on, I do think actually, as a pub snack, beef jerky's got to be one of the best.
There's not many pubs you can get it in, though.
It's not a very common snack. That's the one thing that, like pork scratchings. I'd rather have beef jerky over pork scratchings.
See, I had
Oh,
pork
100%.
scratchings last week and they were fucking lovely. I'm glad I bought the old Max Zingy Salt and Vinegar crisp though, because there ain't a lot of this.
No. I reckon you got, well, you've had
10 bits.
6.
Yeah.
You literally had a piece. I still had a piece. You've had another piece. You've got 2 pieces left.
What's the weight say on the bag?
Not
30 grams
a
of
lot.
it?
25 grams.
Oh, that is not,
Not-
a lot.
But then some of that's made up of that fucking...
No,
nuts
if
and
they
that
weigh
thing.
the meat
I was
before
about
it
to say,
goes in
I'm
the
sure that
bag.
just didn't need. Yeah, I'm sure they had it in the packet.
Fucking hell.
I mean,
Bunch of cunt.
clever way of making the weight up though. I like that. That's smart.
Good though.
Yeah, well nice.
Oh, fuck,
Really, and
thank
it's
you.
actually the aftertaste is really hot. It takes a while for that to come
Yeah,
through.
yeah, but you feel it, don't you? Yeah, I mean, I can feel it in my face. Yeah, definitely.
And I went,
Will, you've put it in your eye.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it'll probably teach me not to rub it in all my orifices rather than
Why are
just
you not wearing a
straight up
mask?
eat it. Right, actually, it's really funny you say that because I've got a bit of a beef with the whole mask thing. Just to get straight into it.
Well, let's get our snacks done first.
Let's do that.
I've also got a Lucasade Sport Orange. 'Cause
Oh yeah, you drink. Yeah.
I wanted a bit of refreshment. I've also got some intelligence water.
You
Make
got
you
some
smarter.
smart water. Yes, smart water. Oh, I hate smart water.
I love it.
Smart-
Just your water.
I don't actually have a beef with the water. It's that we had in a previous job that I had to physically upsell single bottles of water, and it became the worst thing in my entire life. Even looking at a bottle of water, I wanted to just throw it across the room. It was awful.
Billy, what are you gone for?
So I've actually gone for some quite simple stuff this time. I didn't go for an alcoholic beverage like I did previously. I've gone for a nice soft 7-Up, and I've gone for some Pom Bear
I
crisps.
love a Pom Bear.
You can't beat a Pom
Really
Bear.
salty though.
They are. I mean, this is the
For
thing. is-
kids crisps, they're fucking
Yeah,
well
and
salty.
I'll tell you what, the worst one, skips. Don't ever give your kids skips. All of them are red or orange. Like, all
Really?
of them are red and orange. But one singular bag of skips, yeah, honestly. it's
What do you
bad.
mean? What?
You know
They've got health
you know the
warnings on the
daily,
front.
daily intake thing?
Oh, yeah.
All of them are in the red.
Right there.
and one singular bag of skips.
Sure. Really?
Really?
red.
So why are they not in colour on?
That is odd that
Well,
they're,
look.
yeah, they're actually
No,
white.
but they're not on the Pom Bears.
No, that's
No, because
fine.
they're good.
What, white ones
White's
are good?
good. Oh no, green's good.
Yeah.
White's must be neutral, I guess.
I don't think they legally have to do the colour thing as long as they show the percentages. So I think that's probably how they get around it. But yeah, it is odd actually. I never even thought about that. Yeah, so that's what I've gone for today. I've gone for something a bit more simple, a bit kiddish again. Show me the charm. You're setting yourself up there nicely, Lou. What have you got going on today?
Yeah, so I've keeping on that alcohol scheme and things that I wouldn't normally drink. I've gone for some Aldi's wines, little, you know, like the little 1 glass things of wine. I've gone for a rosé, White Zinfandel, it's called. I've gone for a Californian Chardonnay, and I've gone for a Merlot
Oh, no.
as well. And
Mixing your wines up.
Yeah, but I've got to try it, Ash. That's
Oh, yeah,
that's
you've
the
got
point of doing it, isn't it?
Got to try a bit of everything.
So, what do I think I'm going to like the least?
Probably the red.
Probably the rosé I would like the least, because I've gone for, so my snack is the Aldi's version of pepperonis, which were fucking 5 for £1.49.
And they're not
That is
small
a
ones either.
bargain.
They're
No,
big
No,
they
they're
are,
decent
they are,
size. That's 30p a go, mate.
They're like the extra large pepperonis you get for like £2. I think that's like one of them.
And they taste really good as well.
Oh, they're good, I think. I must admit, I didn't even know that Aldi did their own brand stuff like that.
Rosé's really good.
Yeah.
It's really nice. The Chardonnay.
So what did you pay for all three of those then? Were they like part of a deal? Were they?
The whole thing came to £6.65, so it was about £5 for the three of them.
It's not bad. 3 for a £5. Yeah, that's pretty good.
3 glasses of wine.
Yeah, that's not bad at all, is it?
The Chardonnay's a bit bland.
I suppose for a cheaper wine, you can't expect too much.
The Merlot seemed. I thought Merlot was meant to be a bit thicker than that, and a bit.
It's a bit watery, is it?
So the one that I thought I'd like the least
That's the one you like the
is
most.
the one that's out of those three most definitely the nicest.
Oh well, there you go. Just goes to show, mate. It's good that you taste these things and check them.
Yeah, I would drink that again. I wouldn't drink the Chardonnay or the Merlot again. Obviously after I've drunk this, but I wouldn't drink it again. I wouldn't buy it again.
Drink it quick enough and it'll all go down the same. Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah,
these
well,
were quite cheap. What's the alcohol content?
12% ish.
12%. See, that's pretty good,
That's average, yeah, for a wine. That's
It's about 2% less, I think, than normal.
Wine of the USA. Wine of the USA.
3 bottles. Wine.
I'll tell you, when I went for my alcohol license, when I did my alcohol license, you have to, part of the questions is you have to work out on the percentage of alcohol based inside the liquid of what that would, like, category that would fall into, whether it's like beer, cider, wine, spirits, all that kind of stuff. And I'll tell you what, you think you know, but you really don't when you start going through it. I tell you, some of it is crazy, and yeah, some of the things that you think would have a low alcohol percentage, you can get with stupid alcohol percentages. You're right.
You look like
You're
you're
right,
joking.
bud. Yeah, I thought you were dying for a minute.
So, I ate one of these meatsters earlier. It had no heat to it whatsoever.
Bland as anything.
Bland, because these were the hot ones that I picked up.
Ah, okay, yeah.
I've just had a bite of this one,
And it's melted your face.
and it's absolutely on fire.
Snap a bit off.
To be fair though, that's probably why they're £1.49, bro.
Yeah, only one of them's been
yeah, one of them
flavoured.
is spicy. The other 4 are just
I
dead.
don't know if it just hit the back of my throat or...
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's like a roulette thing. You don't know which one's going to be the hot one.
Did you read the packaging?
No.
Yeah, maybe it's like a
I was
roulette
just
thing.
confused. They are nice though, but they're somewhere in between Slim Jims and...
It's like Rebels. You don't know if it's going to be like.
I don't know, maybe it was just like a bit of the chili in there or something.
Maybe it's after the wine as well. You just get a bit of a fan.
Let's see if that bit's hotter than the one we had earlier.
Yeah, it might have just refreshed your palate.
No, that's exactly the same. Fucking good though.
Yeah, they're all right.
So, yeah, you've probably been eating your sweet and hot, so you're probably not experiencing it as much. I should imagine where you've cleared your palate with the wine, it probably.
I don't know, it's just weird. I've had 2, I think, now, and yeah, even that bite there was fine. It was just that one bite, absolutely.
Probably just had a
Just
chili
a bit
in
of
it.
chili in it, yeah, chili flake or something.
So, what have we all been up to this week?
Well,
Much.
Well,
Fuck all.
I've had a pretty boring, pretty uneventful week. The one thing I did get done, which I'm so glad I did, and it's kind of annoying actually because obviously it kind of blocked our plans last time, but I finally got all the laminate in the living room laid, cut, down, done. I tell you what,
Yeah, I
for
don't
every
think
listener,
laying laminate's good
for
for-
every listener out there, spend that little bit more money and get better quality laminate. Don't just go out and get the cheapest laminate.
I'm sure you bought that like 3 months ago, that laminate.
No. Well,
Well, your
It was
missus,
before
probably about
lockdown.
2 months ago. No, so what happened was,
your
so
missus
I
works in a hardware store as
So
well.
I was at work one day and my missus works in a hardware store where we can get 20% off, and it's just around the corner from work. So I actually walked down there with one of our colleagues on our break, and I had to go and get some bits, and we found the flooring that I was after, but they only had 2 packs and I needed 10 packs. They only had 2 packs reduced from £12 a pack to like £4.
That's probably why it's shit.
No. I went and bought obviously more packs, but while I was there, I was like, I'll buy the reduced now because it's going to save me money in the long run. Do you know what I mean? So I bought the 2 packs that were reduced. I must admit,
And
I
then you
was
have to
walking,
wait.
I was walking around the shop and you do kind of think like, should I just kick that one off the shelf? You know what I mean? Should I just rip that package a little bit? Then we'll have to reduce it. Come back
Check
tomorrow.
the CCTV straight away. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, that'd be my luck. Do you know what I mean?
I
Yeah,
like
so-
the t-shirt, by the way.
Thank you
I
very
like
much.
it.
So this was actually a.
It's a Rick and Morty
it's
Pulp
it's-
Fiction t-shirt.
Yeah, so it's a sort of piss take on the Pulp Fiction.
Does Marcellus Wallace look like a bitch?
But what I like about it as well is that it kind of it fits. Do you know what I mean? You could imagine seeing that in like an episode of Rick and Morty, and you would think like that would fit. With it.
Where'd you get it from?
It was actually from my mum for a Christmas present this year. Bless her.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
Your
She
work.
always does it every year. She buys me like some kind of quirky shirt. Like the year before last, she bought me
I'm adopted.
No, probably not.
That one wasn't quirky.
Funny
That
enough,
one was a very emotional time.
one of the funniest ones she ever did buy me. Actually, I must admit, it did make me laugh because I don't know if you guys watched like The Big Bang Theory, and you know Sheldon Cooper. His big thing is, I'm not crazy. My mother had me tested. So my mum bought me a shirt that had like the atoms up here, and it said, "I'm not crazy. My mother had me tested." And she goes, "There you go. You can wear that, and people will be convinced." Bless her. That's probably one of the best moments she's had.
No, we know that it was incorrect.
You're working your way through the old top 100. Pulp Fiction's in there somewhere. Have you seen that?
Fiction.
I've seen that a few
my
times.
God,
I like
it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good film.
Any Tarantino movie, I mean, I feel like Tarantino is one of them directors that you can just,
Yeah.
you can stick on pretty much
The
any
only
one of his
one
movies.
I weren't really sure of.
I haven't seen his one that he did about Hollywood
Yeah,
recently,
Once Upon a
though.
Time in Hollywood.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I was
haven't
going to
seen
say. It's a good film, but it's so fucking slow up until the last 20 minutes, and then it's just mental.
Well,
Yeah.
also from what I gather as well, he got quite a bit of stick because it kind of tarnished a lot of people's image of
Bruce Lee especially, yeah.
And obviously Bruce Lee is one of those massive names, isn't it?
How did it
It
tarnish-
made him
They
look like
kind
a
of make
right
him look
dickhead.
like a punk, for lack of a better word. They kind of make him look like this kind of
Yeah, so
Hollywood punk who comes in and he thinks he's this ninja that can beat everyone in a fight and he's
Which
like
he
the world's
was.
greatest. Which, to be fair, to
But
a degree, he was.
Essentially, there's this bit
Is
where...
Bruce Lee dead?
Yes, yeah. So
And Brandon Lee's dead.
Yeah, I know he
Yeah.
died on the film.
he
set.
died on the
On
set
The
of
Crow.
Yeah.
the film set of The Crow.
So there's this bit with a guy playing Bruce Lee.
When did Bruce Lee die? Oh yeah, weren't he the one that died from an aspirin?
yeah.
So they say.
So they say.
There's lots of different stories in regards to that, but from what a lot of people were saying, that he was dosing painkillers for quite a long time because he used to break bones on a regular
To make
basis
them
to make them
stronger.
stronger because when their bone fuses back together, it fuses back stronger. So he would quite regularly break bones and stuff like that constantly all the time. So obviously he was constantly on painkillers. He was constantly.
No,
Probably
I heard that
addicted
he'd never
to-
taken painkillers,
Oh no!
and he had an allergic reaction.
From,
to the
from what
aspirin.
I gather, from what I've been told, and from what I've been told from other people, and I know my mum also read some stuff, and yeah, from what I gather and from what was said because I think it was his wife was also like literally there when he actually physically collapsed and died.
Really?
So yeah, he was taking I think a lot more than people ever thought he was.
Yeah.
But it's
So-
one of those things, do you think Chuck Norris is running around at 65, smashing wood boards and kicking through doors?
Is he? I've never seen
Oh,
a Chuck Norris movie.
Have you not seen The Expendables?
Oh, I have.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a much
That's
more
not
recent
really a
one.
Chuck Norris movie.
No.
Though. It was a cameo in that, but
No.
I've never seen
I
a.
love that cameo as well. It's so good.
That is a very, very clever cameo, and I did like the way that they played into because
The
at the
Chuck
time,
Norris
at the time
jokes.
it was the Chuck Norris jokes, wasn't
Yeah,
it? And
which
he
were
made the
everywhere.
jokes about the King Cobra, didn't he? After the King Cobra bit him, 12 days later it died or something like
Yeah. But anyway, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's about an actor who's doing really shit in his career and his stunt double. And there's a bit where the stunt double sat there, just sort of waiting to go on set, drinking his milk. And
that. In his sunglasses.
Bruce Lee's fucking sparking off about all this stuff, and he laughs. And Bruce Lee's like, "Why'd you laugh at me?" sort of thing. He was like, "Oh, I just think you're a little man with a big mouth and a big chip on your shoulder."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, unfortunately, I can't fight you because my hands are registered as deadly weapons, and if I kill you, I might go to prison." He's like, "If anyone kills anyone in a fight, they go to prison. It's called manslaughter."
That made me laugh so
He
hard.
starts fighting him, and Bruce Lee goes to punch him, and he just grabs him and chucks him into the side of a car.
Where is him?
It's fucking quality. You have to watch it.
What was that one?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
So there's a YouTube channel called Movie Clips. If you just type in Movie Clips, they've got like 1 to 10 of all the clips,
And
that's,
is that
that's
up
one
there?
of the clips. And trust me, it's really worth a watch when you get a chance. Go back and watch that. But yeah, I mean, I know that Tarantino himself has got a lot of stick for that because obviously he's got such an image, not only in Hollywood but just in general, So for him to be almost insulted in that way, I mean, I think even Joe Rogan actually did a thing on one of his podcasts about it. Actually,
Yeah, probably. I don't see the issue with it. the whole film is taking the piss out of Hollywood.
I think that's the thing. I think that if you're going to portray Hollywood in a way that's trying to make it comical, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt, haven't you? You know, you can't take it seriously. You know, I suppose it's that way with a lot of real stories. You know, when
did you watch that video I sent you on Facebook?
Yeah, I mean, funnily enough, I was just about to say actually about like the Sully story, for example. Obviously, that's one of those stories that he probably looks back and watches the movie and thinks, fucking hell, half of this.
Was that the one with where he
lands the plane in the Hudson?
Yeah.
Obviously, all based on true stories. The movie is very good, and they do stick to a lot of truths. I've watched because I think it was last year was the 10-year anniversary of it.
Fuck me!
Yeah, 10 years ago. 10 years ago, they landed the plane on the Hudson. Yeah, that's mad, isn't it? You wouldn't think it was that long ago.
10 years. The average life is only 7 of that period.
That's not been done before or since by an airliner. Not been done before.
No, it would never. Well, definitely not on the Hudson, mate.
No. I mean like a water landing that's been successful.
Well, I don't think any have really even tried. It's very rare that you get a plane crash, especially near passengers.
They're actually saying in one of his interviews, and one of the many interviews he's done obviously afterwards, that it was all everything he was going through was all classroom based. It was all theory. None of it was practical because how can you practice?
No, but they have simulators.
No, because the simulators don't work on water. Simulators, if you go into water, the plane keeps on going. They have no way of simulating.
No, but they do have. They obviously they have it in training.
No,
of course they do.
No, they don't. Honestly, I swear to you, they do not have a way of simulating.
Someone fact check it.
Or at least back at that point.
At
that point, they did not have a way.
10 years ago, they definitely had simulators to do stuff like that.
Not for water landings. I
They
swear
had
to you, not
virtual
for
reality
water landings.
in 1956.
I swear to you, not for water.
Oh, what,
landings.
Alex Jones?
Yeah, man, I fucking love Alex Jones and his conspiracies.
Yeah, no, I swear to you, honestly, from the interviews.
No, it's because the thing is, the reason he knew he could do that, and that was the safest place to do it, is because at that velocity, water acts as a solid.
Yeah,
so he knew that you can land on it as if it's a solid.
He did it all 100% correctly by landing the tail in first, using the force of the water to slow.
So maybe they don't have to train for it because at that pace, with that volume, it's just like landing on concrete.
You couldn't have your wheels down, though, could you?
From what he was saying,
wheels wouldn't come out.
Again, from what he was saying in one of the interviews, from what he was saying, it was a 10-degree difference on the nose. Would be the difference between the plane making a smooth landing on the water or the plane dipping and just getting torn apart by the water force. Yeah,
which is the same as on concrete. If they didn't have the wheels out,
there's a lot more leeway on the concrete because before they even land, they're already putting it into reverse thrust. They're slowing down in the air before they even hit the concrete. Their thrust is reversing and pulling the plane backwards and reducing.
I mean, what he did was fucking miraculous.
Oh, it was, and yeah, for. What an amazing true story.
I know, mate. Well, and such a good movie as well.
And to think, every single person.
Was he dead yet?
Survived. No, he's still alive.
Weren't he in his 60s when he did that? So he's probably.
I think it was late 50s, I think. But yeah, he's now retired completely now. He actually does.
Flight training.
No, he did do flight training.
He made a water simulator.
No, he actually does.
And sold it. He's a multi-millionaire, mate.
He does like chats and talks and stuff like that. Like booking chats and talks and stuff. And yeah, from what I gather, he seems to make quite a good living.
Yeah, I bet he does. And too fucking right as well. So you mentioned, Dash, about me watching the films. I strayed actually from that list.
Did you?
But I have been trying to watch a film a night. It helps me get to sleep.
Godfather Part 2?
Didn't even get to that.
No?
So I was.
That's a good one. Don't even bother with Part 3.
I watched Part 1. I weren't really into it. It's a bit. The thing is, right, at the time it was a bit revolutionary.
At the time it was
but
amazing.
What that did in the 70s was inspire, or 80s, I think it was the 70s, late 70s, I think. It inspires other people to create movies like it.
Yes.
But you can't make a movie that's the same because then it's shit. No. So you have to make a movie that's better.
Slightly different.
Yeah. So what we've had now is 40 years of people improving on that concept of movie. Yeah. So because it was revolutionary at the time, everyone loved it, but now you go back and watch it and it's boring as fuck. Yeah, because what we've had is 40 years of development from that point.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that, but I think
it's like a car, isn't it? When they first brought out the very first car,
yeah,
fantastic, amazing, unreal. If you drove that now, you'd be like, what is this piece of shit?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Where's the aircon? Where's the power steering?
Where's the window screen? Yeah. Where's the steering wheel?
It'd be worse than that. So cars, before I think it was about 1912, there was no set plan for cars, like how it was set out and how it was laid out in the cabin. So sometimes you'd have 3 levers.
A horse with wheels.
Yeah. Sometimes you had 3 levers, but you might only have 1 pedal. Some cars you might have 5 pedals, but you've got no gear
One
lever.
lever, yeah.
But you've got no gear lever.
Yeah, well, there was no steering wheel, was there, in the first ones? It was all based on
It was all
a crank
yeah,
which would pull you one way, and a crank that would pull you the other way.
And then
it wasn't until someone created the axle that they went, oh, you know what we can do? We can put one steering column here, and that will turn
rack and pinion steering.
Yeah.
And they still use that to this day.
Yeah, there we go. And so that it weren't until someone
When are they
created.
going to bring out hover cars?
To be fair, we can already make them.
It's been the technology is there.
We can do it, but there's absolutely no point.
The technology is not only not safe enough.
Well, there's just no point.
There's
The carbon footprint for what it achieves.
Also, it's one of those things. Yeah, okay, it'd be great if we could all fly
Do
around.
you know what a hovercraft is? A fucking aeroplane.
I don't think they hover though.
Like a helicopter.
Yeah, they hover.
No.
Yeah, they hover. Or
Challenge me again!
Or a hover boat. I went on a hover boat over to the.
Do you know what a hover boat is?
It's just
a helicopter. It's just not over water this
No,
time.
hover boats are weird, man. You seen that?
Yeah, it's like a big inflatable with some
weird.
fans
Oh
on
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's not really. It's not a.
They got
hover.
like skirts around them that like trap the air underneath and shit, man. It's really clever stuff how it all works. Like, it's very clever.
But I think a lot of it's quite basic science, isn't it? It's just there's no need for it. Or what would be the point? A hoverboard. A hoverboard would actually be quite beneficial if you could. But I think science has proven that it's pretty much impossible to have a skateboard-sized object that generates that sort of power.
The only way
enough to hold your weight up.
Do you know the only way you could do that? And we could do that, and we could create an atmosphere or a place or an area or a platform for us to do that with magnets.
Magnets. That's the only way that I was just. Funny enough, I was just about to say that. It's the only way they've proven that a design can work in an area where they lay magnets into the concrete.
Magnets. I think our evolution, we fucked by not using magnets the way that they could have been used. Yeah, you could think of the electricity. Think how far you could move a train. If a train had a certain magnet and a really high-powered magnet, because remember magnets are natural.
Oh yeah.
So you can have a high-powered magnet that has no power. In fact, I really want to speak to my mate Dave about this. You could have a really high-powered magnet that doesn't waste any sort of electricity. If you then 2 miles down a track, a train track made of magnets, a switch got turned on, which powered.
So it's pulling it and pushing it.
So it pulls that magnet towards it,
and then pushes
just
it.
off the power of and then as soon as that goes past, as soon as it's just gone past the axis, it turns back to a negative, and then it expels it.
Pushes it again, yeah. So there are similar systems that do work like that with electromagnets. So I believe they use a similar system like that for the Hadron Supercollider, and that's actually done with electromagnets creating a current.
A scientist experiment that could have fucking ruined the world.
Could have literally destroyed the world.
What made me laugh is that.
And everyone let them do it.
Yeah, they turned. They turn around and they're like, it's 50-50. It's 50-50. We can kill us all, or we can.
No, there was like one. There was a 1 in like 100 billion chance that what we do is create a black hole.
Yeah.
And the only reason is
chances in the universe.
Yeah, well, it's because no one knows how a black hole's
No one
created.
knows the laws of
A black hole. So maybe what we were doing was going to create that. No, they don't. It's Brian Cox and Joe Rogan.
It's a star collapsing in on itself, isn't it?
They don't know the laws.
But they don't know, how much
That
power is that
essentially what
releasing?
the
You can't.
growing by.
Yeah, that's what it could have created.
It
That
could have created a star that then sucks
automatically imploded in itself because it couldn't survive under the atmospheric climate,
conditions.
and then just literally sucked everything in the world into it instantaneously, and we all just.
That was it, nothing.
And then it
just half a second and you're gone. You don't even know.
Not even that. Oh yeah, you just disappeared. You just atomised.
Yeah, that's brutal.
That's crazy, isn't it? I mean, stuff like that is.
That's
mad.
one way to get out of an awkward situation.
You know what? I want to get Dave on this because he's a physicist.
Yeah.
Well, what I'd love to know, right? So obviously, there's a lot of this world ending.
I'm going to do it as a foursome because you'd be quite interested.
That'd be really good. I'd love to do that because I know a lot of sciencey stuff, but I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
So I'd love to have someone that explains some of that stuff to me. It would be amazing. But yeah, what I love about like some of this stuff, especially this survival-based stuff, is like at some point, obviously the world will end, whether it's caused by us or whether it's natural. Eventually, obviously, it will happen. But what I love is that someone in America thought it was a great idea to go to the government and be like, we want billions of dollars to go and build a secure place in Greenland, and we're going to just store seeds. That's all we're going to do. We just store seeds at a really cold temperature. We're just going to store some seeds. That's all we're going to do. That's what we do.
That reminds me of Wally.
Costs hundreds of millions a year. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't get I understand why they're doing it. I do get it, but at the same time, like, we're not at, you know, a stage where nuclear war is going to happen tomorrow.
Universal.
The thing is, we don't know that. We don't really know how far.
No, true. I mean, like in America, they do have like, you know, like DEFCON and all that kind of stuff, and obviously we have, you know, the risk cycle in the UK and stuff like that. And
you know, I think it's either Universal or Sony. They have a bunker that's built in the side of a mountain that stores like original like
recordings
music and films
and tapes and yeah. I've read about
original
that
pirate material.
We are the streets.
But to be fair, I think Disney do the same thing. Disney have a vault, I believe, that has like all the original like Mickey Mouse stuff in it and all that kind of stuff, and all the original Walt Disney. Well, yeah, I should imagine they burnt that a long time ago. I should imagine that's.
No, it's like Song of the South. That film is fucking well racist, but I love that film growing up. And it was banned in America and it wasn't banned here, so we got it for a little while before they banned it.
Yeah, see, stuff like that is
that's
funny.
What the what's it fucking called? What's that fucking?
Are you thinking of Manhunt?
No, the ride at Disney World that they're changing it to a Pirates of the Caribbean or something like that now.
Yeah.
That was based on Song of the South.
Yeah, and that was considered racist. Yeah, I didn't really. Again, like, I don't really get that. The problem with stuff like that is that as soon as you sort of turn around and be like, oh yeah, we're banning that, everyone's like, I must see that movie. All of a sudden that becomes like...
And you'll find it as
when,
well.
When we were kids, like, do you remember Manhunt?
I fucking love that game.
Yeah, they banned Manhunt. Everyone bought it, obviously, before it got banned. And it's like, well, I've got this game now that no one else can buy. No one's going to sell.
I think you can still buy it. I think you can buy it now.
I think you can get it now. I don't think you can buy it brand new. I think you can only get it.
There was a lot of stuff about Bully, weren't there?
Bully was big. Yeah, they made them change the name on it as well. Like that was how badly they took it to a stage where Rockstar had to physically.
They'll make another one. They've got to.
Oh, I guarantee.
Do you remember Leisure Suit Larry? You played as like a college guy that just wanted to fuck his teachers and fuck everyone on campus.
Yes. That was that meme that was going. Is that sorry boys? I was a bit levelled out there. Were you saying about that meme that went around? Where everyone was saying if you don't know who Bully was. Yeah. No, I do. I only vaguely remember that game, but I compared that game a lot to Hogwarts, so I didn't really want to play it. No. I thought what this is just like a Streets version.
No, it's more like GTA, but you're at school.
But it was about the same time as Harry Potter came out. So
they're making an open world Harry Potter game.
Yeah, I must admit.
Really?
From what I've read, it makes it sound amazing. Well. So you do the orientation, you get your house, you play through like an actual like.
Oh, fuck off, I'm getting that shit.
Honestly, it's shit.
I don't care that I'm an up and coming rapper.
I was about to say, that was going to be
play Harry Potter.
In a couple of months' time, our missus are all going to be shouting through to us. We're all going to be like, I've just been given my sorting hat, alright? Leave me alone.
Fuck off. I've been putting fucking Sliver in.
Because of you. Yeah.
Fuck. Put the fucking kettle on.
Yeah, that's it.
In Hugglepuff. All my boys are in Gryffindor, all of them. Even Eric. Eric got in fucking Gryffindor. How am I Hugglepuff? Never gonna make the Quidditch team! You're putting me off!
Do you reckon
it's going to be such a good game?
Do you reckon when they all get into the Hufflepuff common room or whatever it's called, do you reckon when they get in there they go, you guys aren't really important to the school in any way, shape or form, just stay out of the way, the Gryffindors and the
there was 4, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was 4.
The Hugglepuffs.
Hufflepuff,
Hugglepuff, Gryffindor and...
they're the ones that are even less, because they're the ones that no one remembers, other than the super fans like Abs.
Like me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it, Ravenclaw. With the sickest name.
Yeah, that is actually
no one
and
remembers.
They're all the smart ones, aren't they?
Oh, are they?
Ravenclaw they're the
that's why in the 7th book they look for the lost diadem, where it's like supposed to make you smarter, and it just gets torn to shit.
Oh, I'm not that deep into it. Don't ruin the fucking game.
Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it, mate. But yeah, imagine. I don't know how far they're going to go. Whether they bring it out just one where you're at Hogwarts, or whether you progress through Hogwarts in the first game, and in the second game you go out and you're like an aura hunting down like dark wizards and shit.
That would be cool.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
That could be the expansion.
Yeah, that'd be wicked.
Like you're grown up, you're just out, you're going around hunting down these people.
Disclaimer: if this idea does come to fruition, understand that it was featured on Proper Chaps, Proper Chat, episode 7. Episode 7.
You heard it here first, people.
All we ask for is 1.4 billion in rights to the expansion, and then it's all yours.
10% of Rockstar going through to like 21.85. That'd be fine.
Yeah, talking about rights, we were discussing this at the pub the other day.
Women's rights should be taken away. No. Of course we weren't, and we do not agree with that. But that is pub chat.
Just to be clear, that is not our opinion.
Michael,
Sorry, I'm trying really hard not to laugh.
Michael Jackson owned the Beatles rights, the rights to all the Beatles songs, and
What?
in the Ultimate Boss move, he bought the rights to the Happy Birthday song, which is why until recently, when you went into a restaurant, they couldn't sing the Happy Birthday song.
Oh, is that
They
why
would
it was
sing,
all that?
like, happy
birthday
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah, and so they don't get
Happy
sued.
birthday
Yeah.
to you.
Imagine
Happy
that.
birthday.
He's that
Actually,
rich,
fuck,
he's like-
Frankie's and Benny's were always like, fuck you, Michael Jackson. That was always, at least twice.
fucking
If
nonce,
you went for a meal on a
allegedly.
Saturday, at least twice, you'd hear the and everyone would turn around and there'd be that like 8-year-old girl embarrassed looking bright red at her mum.
Yeah, a trap-eyed, like,
Happy birthday
How could you do this to me?
to you. And for some reason the whole restaurant felt like they had to get involved.
Yeah, everyone has to sing.
Happy
clap.
birthday. And then at the end everyone's like, woo!
See, for me, I was always really awkward if someone did that, but I'd be like, you're fucking ruining my meal. I come here to have a nice sit-down meal and you're fucking blaring that
No,
shit.
that is dessert time and you get a free dessert. Stop being so fucking ungrateful.
I am no.
Everyone's singing for you.
No, I'm talking about I'm sat in a restaurant and there's some little prick over there. that's
Oh,
got a
yeah,
fucking
ruining your
restaurant,
meal.
yeah.
You don't want to hear all these cunts shouting at you.
No, especially since I
I'll
got
tell you what,
40% off.
let's go and sit in a Frankie's and Benny's and wait for that moment and we'll stage a video where you get up well pissed off. Shut the fuck up! I'm trying to have a pizza! And what we'll do is we'll stage it so you're by yourself.
This is democracy
Manifest.
manifest.
What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent F&B meal?
That is by far one of the best memes of all time.
brilliant.
Chinese succulent meal. YouTube
Yeah.
people.
It's almost as good as that. I'll call Carl Benchmark.
Pitchmark.
Yeah, I'll call Carl Benchmark. Those are my friends. Those are fucking kids.
Cool, I don't even know who he
You're
is.
on
God,
crack.
he owns United. What?
He's
He's
dead.
dead.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, sorry guys, that was like 20 seconds of something you just don't understand at all. Anyone listening to that?
What have you been up to
sorry.
this week, Nick? What else have you been up to?
Finished. Well, started making a music video
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
that we won't go down because I got very emotional with someone that's on this podcast yesterday.
Was there a fight? I
Yeah,
don't know.
no, it wasn't. He sent a first draft video.
Right.
It's not finished. It's
No, of
not
course,
sixth
of
draft.
course.
It's not 10th draft. It's first draft. And
Well, you
I was
only do
like,
about 5 drafts,
I was
so
like,
I'm never
oh,
going to be 6th or 10th.
That's pretty shit.
No, he went, I watched your video in front of all of the other boys.
Right.
I went, I watched your video. It is utterly shit.
Right.
Not like
Brutal.
that. But I didn't,
Literally like
I
that,
didn't
which
mean,
is what
I
upset
didn't
me.
mean it like that. I just meant it's first draft. You know, you're gonna
At
be.
least you can rely on his honest opinion.
No, because it's not utterly shit. That's the thing.
No,
That's
it's
the
not.
reality.
It's all
The
right.
reality is, it's actually not bad, especially for something that we've created from scratch. We've not like it's cost us
Off your own
nothing.
back, yeah.
Yeah, the second half of it is better than the
It
first half.
is. It is. Well,
Yeah.
the main thing that got me, and it's
Let's
one
have
thing
one of
that,
them then, mate.
yeah, it's one of the things that really annoy me in movies as well,
So
which is
if
probably
possible,
why I
should
said
feel
that to
right
you.
roll
I can't stand it when you're watching something, especially if you're streaming it illegally, which I don't do.
You should never do, yeah.
And the mouth is moving, and about
No,
a
but it's
second
the-
later,
I think,
fucking
because the version that I've got of it, it's in sync. I think it's
you
where I've
mugging
sent
someone
it.
else off, mate. In sync,
It-
they were a
it
good
might be-
band back in the day.
No, to be
In
fair,
my version of it, it's synchronised. Oh, you're mugging the swimmers off.
it could,
In my
version,
version-
file, it could be where the file's been compressed to be sent over. But it's not on
Yeah, no,
compressed
it was like he wouldn't send it over if it wasn't synchronised, and so and the version that I have on my phone is synchronised.
Yeah,
It
could
might
have
be
ju-
where
could
you
have
just
been
put
where
it
was
in
sent
Messenger.
over.
Yeah,
it's
so
good
it's
to
not
just
sent
send
over perfectly. So obviously, I would never release something that isn't.
But yeah, Facebook's always one of them weird ones anyway. The amount of times you watch a video, and yeah, like you say, the
It's out of
yeah,
sync. and
sometimes it
stuff.
can be a
What's
second
that?
out, sometimes it can be 3 or 4 seconds out. Yeah.
So we went to a 30th birthday the other day.
Oh right.
I'm not going to go too much into it because Lewis didn't like it. Didn't really want us talking about it on here. What did you think of that video I sent you?
Yeah, that's messed
That's
up.
fucking messed up, that shit.
Seriously messed up. The funny thing is,
We're not talking a single thing about that, boys.
I'm not going to mention it in any way, shape, or form.
What we do not do here is conspiracies that are ongoing, that have got having a huge international popularity or insight, and people
Hollywood pedophiles.
The people that are forefront of these investigations are all dead, and I'm not becoming dead because we started talking in too much detail on a podcast that went out to people. I'm not becoming that dead person. All right?
No, what I will say though is it will be interesting to find out exactly how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Innocent until proven guilty.
100%, and I don't disagree in any way, shape or form. There is no evidence to say, and we've got to bear in mind as well.
Must be one of them.
Oh yeah, sorry mate. There's a lot of famous people that were obviously on Epstein's list and had obviously gone to
and most of them, or if not all of them, are completely innocent.
And exactly, the point is,
until proven
I think a lot of people forget that he was a big financier. He financed movies, he financed clothing lines, he financed basically anything anyone wanted finance for. You go to the guy that can make
that has the money to do it.
But also he can make money out of nothing. Don't forget, this guy never technically had any qualifications, never had anything, and he was a multi
billionaire.
Billionaire, but then to a stage, no one could even really prove where any of his money actually come from.
That's one of the big things.
We don't know where it's come from. It's come from bribery, and it's come from.
No, actually, a lot of his money actually come from one of the jobs he had on Wall Street, where he was actually his boss ended up getting convicted. It was all this big Ponzi scheme, basically, and Epstein was in charge of it and controlling it, basically, for his boss, under his boss's instructions.
I didn't know about
his
that.
boss ended
it's
up.
Not in the Netflix, is it?
Not that I'm aware of. No, this
is
is actually something I saw on YouTube. This was actually an interview with his old boss, because his old boss is obviously still alive. And he even said he went to jail. He did like 15 years in prison, or he was sentenced 15 years. He didn't actually do 15
Did like 7.
Yeah,
He's probably still a billionaire.
Yeah, he had to give millions and millions of pounds in restitution. He had to, cooperate with the FBI and all this other kind of stuff and everything else. Epstein got nothing. Didn't even get his name mentioned. Didn't even get a reprimand. Nothing.
Yeah, but if
he literally just quit the job that he was in and went and started his own investment firm. That was literally what he did, and he walked away with basically all.
Netflix. Tiger King.
Oh, I tell you what, there's a brand new documentary just come out on Netflix. I've just started watching it. It's
Lion Princess.
I think it's Fear City. It's called New York versus the Mafia.
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch that.
And I tell you what, I've only watched the first episode, and it's really good.
I didn't get round to saying what we started talking about movies.
Yeah, we got completely off topic.
Yeah,
what did you watch?
I watched The Imitation Game.
That's a
Why
quality
that title
film,
seems familiar? What?
The one with Benedict Cumberbatch in the war, cracking the Enigma code.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, and have you seen it properly, Will?
I don't think I've seen it all the way through. No,
Mate,
I know the movie
you.
you're talking about, but yeah.
I swear to you, watch that film and watch it properly. Actually get yourself into it. Wait till the little ones are in bed, Callie's in bed. Go and do what you've got to do before you can really get into a film and watch it tonight. That is the first film I can recall in my entire life that has given me goosebumps.
Oh really? To be fair, Cumberbatch is a very good actor.
He's unbelievable.
I really liked him. I don't know if you guys
seen it in a
saw.
long
Have
time.
you guys seen the BBC One remake of Sherlock with him?
No, I haven't.
Really,
really good.
The whole series on Netflix, bingeable.
It's like a modern day telling of Sherlock Holmes.
But it's with Benedict Cumberbatch.
It's got Martin Freeman in it.
Yeah, Martin Freeman, the guy who played
Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah, the Hobbit.
And he also, but actually, what's Martin Freeman's best role?
Well, he was in Shaun of the Dead. He was in Spaced. He was in.
Oh my God, boys, you're missing his
Hot
best
Fuzz.
role ever.
Wasn't he
He's
in
new.
Thingy's Guide to the Galaxy? Wasn't he?
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
That's probably one of his most famous roles.
Yeah, but what's his best role?
His best role.
He was in Black Panther.
Yeah,
his best role.
He actually played. I actually really liked him in Black Panther because he was really convincing as an American.
You're missing his best role, and
telling me what it is.
arguably, it's the role that his first big role. Arguably,
he was in Doctor Who.
First big
For
role,
an
yeah, was probably
episode
Doctor Who. I
with
guess.
the
it's not a
Observer.
film.
Oh, his first big movie. Oh, I don't know what his first big movie would have been.
No, nor do I.
Ali fucking G.
He was in Ali G.
Ali G. And there's no one in the world that can do a better impression of a helicopter than
Yeah.
Martin Freeman. Yeah,
Even
he's
to this day,
fantastic.
everyone tries to do that and cannot do it.
Cannot do it.
Cannot do
He
it.
is the best in the world. In fact, get the clip up.
He's
eh?
in the
They've
Nova,
actually
isn't he?
reloaded Ali G onto Netflix, I believe.
I'm going to have to watch that tonight. I haven't watched it in
Ali
so
G in
long.
the house.
But I just remember, every time I see him in something, I just always remember Ali G. Which made him, that pretty much made him.
Oh mate, that movie when it came out was massive. So
Even the fat guy in that
Oh,
got pretty big, didn't he?
I actually remember I was about 10 or 11.
Quite nice, actually.
And yeah, quite nice actually. When I was about
Sucked
10 or
off
11, a guy up the road from me had a Vauxhall Nova, and he did the full kit on it and made it look like the actual Ali G car.
Imagine what that would be worth
Not
now.
joking. To a stage where he painted it yellow and everything, right?
Have you got the clip up of him doing helicopter?
Oh, it's the class thing.
Oh yeah, it's getting perfect.
You've got to get the helicopter. Martin Freeman helicopter.
Oh yeah, I'm rocking it. I'm feeling it. I'm thinking it.
Nice.
This is Drive by FM, the sound of the ghetto coming to you from deep in the heart of Berkshire.
Why has no one started Drive by FM? Why is that not a thing?
What was that? Helicopter. Just doing the wings. Oh, that's good. Yeah, man, I'm
Oh, he's doing the wings. Just hear me now, gangster.
So good that helicopter impression, isn't it?
I completely forgot he was in that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that has got to be one of Sacha Baron Cohen's best movies.
It made him as well.
That has to be one of his best
Think of
movies.
all the things that came off
Well,
the
the
back.
Ali
that's
G
the thing
show
is, I
was
feel
before
like-
that, though.
The Ali G show, yeah, the Ali G show
No,
was
I
on
think that
TV.
came off the back of it.
No, it was on
I think
first.
no, he was. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
But I could
Ali
be
G
wrong.
show was 2000 to 2004. In the House was 2002.
Told
Who
ya.
else did it have
He
in
was
it?
what he had. Ali G was a skit on a show,
Yeah.
and then he did Ali G in the House,
I think
and that was such a big hit. No, and then he did Ali G the movie, and that was such a big hit. It got him Ali G in the House, and
It
that's
had
why.
Adam Deacon in it as well. From
Yeah, he with his
Adulthood.
Oh no, that weren't him. It was the guy in EastEnders that had the slits in his
Yeah.
eyebrows.
Yeah.
It's what's even better. It's got Michael Gambon in it, who played Dumbledore in the
Yeah.
last 5 films.
4 or 5.
The thing is, all of these guys
And
weren't
Charles
huge
Dance.
before that.
No, some of them were sort of.
I'll tell you what, that's written. That film was written in the stars because so many people off the back of that
have got massive. Yeah.
huge careers.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. Actually, funny enough, I think going back to the Ali G thing, I think what actually made his character sort of big enough was he did an interview with Victoria and David Beckham.
Yeah,
And
Proper made him look
that
like
made
this.
that was the
massive.
back to
'cause-
back of KFC. What you would
Yeah.
name your kid?
Oh
what
yeah,
you
yeah,
can see,
because
can see.
they called him Paris or whatever it was or something.
Brooklyn.
Yeah. Brooklyn, that was it. Yeah. And yeah, he's like, oh yeah, back of KFC kitchen or something.
Yeah.
What a legend, fucking Sacha Baron
Oh
Cohen.
yeah, what an absolute legend.
Well, I
I still think one of the
think
funniest
he's
things.
on
is-
Epstein's flight logs.
Yeah, probably. One of the
I
things that I've-
vaguely remember
It
seeing
really,
his
it really
name.
wouldn't surprise me. Like we say though, you know, he could just well be trying to get funding for a movie. I mean, we know-
Yeah, no, yeah. Let's not
And
go
let's be
down
honest
that
as well, his movie trajectory has not really constantly gone up, has it? Do you know what I mean? He's probably struggling for funding, so at some point he's probably gone, right, I'm going to have to go to paedophile.
Especially
line
after
for money,
fucking-
boys.
road. Especially after Bruno.
Oh mate,
Oh yeah.
Bruno. I didn't like it the first time I watched
Trying to
it.
swap his kid for an iPad.
Yeah, the second time I watched it, absolutely fucking loved it.
I don't know
So,
what-
are you happy with your child being covered in live bees
For a photo
for a
shoot.
photo shoot? And it's the bit where he's singing the national anthem, and people are chucking chairs at him and
No,
stuff.
that's Borat.
Is that Borat?
Yeah, it's Borat, yeah, where he does it in the wrestling ring or something. Yeah, and they all start. It's like in the middle.
starts
It's like in
doing-
the middle of South Carolina or something
Yeah.
as well, where it's like deep south.
Kazakhstan, in the tune of the thing, is the
Yeah.
greatest country in the world. All the other countries are shit or whatever.
It's like, be gone, gypsy.
Fucking
I don't know
brilliant.
how. I think that's the thing with comedy, isn't it? It's
Subjective.
subjective
Kazakhstan,
and
that's
hilarious.
And- and comedy doesn't
Kazakhstan
hate
got
it.
massive. Well, they got massive off that, but yeah, they got
They tried
massive
to
because
sue
they
him.
hated him so much from it.
They tried to sue him.
And there's a funny thing about that is because they said it was racist, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching an interview recently with Rory from Top Gear when it was reinvented the first time, not the second time as it has been now with Paddy McGuinness and Freddie Flintoff.
Yeah, that's it, Freddie.
Yes, it was Rory. I believe it's Rory McDonald. I believe is his name. And you've got the guy who's still in it now. They were from the Top Gear magazine. He now works for Auto Trader. But yeah, they went over to Kazakhstan for one of the challenges, and they'd never seen a black man before. And when I say like they, I mean like the country had never seen a black man before. So
Where
he's
is Kazakhstan?
It's
It is like it's
somewhere
in Asia. It's like
it's around Turkey area, isn't it?
no, I think it's a bit further across towards like Russia, in between Russia and like towards Japan sort of way. That sort of part of Asia. So near like Yugoslavia and
Yeah.
which was previously Yugoslavia. I don't think it's called that anymore. But
No, I don't believe so. I think it's now part of the Chechen Republic, isn't it now?
I'm not sure, but it's around there, I think.
Going back to movies, we were talking a couple of weeks ago about how much money movies have got to make before they actually make money. Do you know Christopher Nolan's got a film that was supposed to be coming out called Tenet, which is like a time travel-y film. They were adamant it was going to be released in July, and they've now postponed it indefinitely because their accountants have got on it as like for this movie, because of how long it's been delayed and stuff. For it to make any money, it needs to clear 800 million before it makes any money.
That's like
So
Titanic.
they've essentially make this film, and Titanic was like 1.8 billion, something like that.
Oh,
No.
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Avengers beat it. Endgame
Avengers
beat
beat
it.
it, yeah.
I think they got about 2.1 billion.
It's been beaten about 5 or 6 times in the past 5-10 years now at this point.
Yeah.
2 billion
Yeah.
for a movie.
Yeah.
But you got to bear in mind though that then Robert Downey Jr. gets his share out of it.
Yeah,
and they've
because
got to pay
he
the
didn't
actors
he got a salary, but he also in his contract had a percentage of gross.
Yeah.
So he would have got
hell.
like
that was
350
his
million
deal. That
or
was his
something
deal for
from
staying
that
on
film.
to do the last 3 Iron Man movies. Was that he wasn't going to take like a wage. He wanted a percentage. So
Of how much
got a
money they
percentage.
made.
That reminds me of something you were telling me earlier.
What about that chap?
Yeah.
The shares chap.
Yeah. So tell
Fuck.
Billy.
We were talking about Cox for stocks.
Right.
No,
Right.
so we were.
Right, you've piqued my interest immediately. yeah.
Exactly. There you go. No, we were talking. There's a thing I saw on Instagram about a chap when Facebook opened their headquarters. They said to this guy that they'd commissioned to do a mural on one of their walls was you do the mural. We can either give you 60 grand in cash or 60 grand in Facebook stock. And he was like, I'll take 60 grand in Facebook stock. It's worth 200 million now.
200 million he got paid.
Yeah, to do a mural.
To be fair, imagine how all the people feel that Jeff Bezos went to when he started Amazon, mate. When he was in that kooky little office and he was like, I just need some funding to start my business.
Yeah,
and they were
mate.
like, no, mate, you're in your crazy
If I had
office.
if I had a time machine, I'd be straight back there. I'd be like, I'll get a 50 grand loan out here. I'd go straight back there. I'd be like, there you go, mate. There's 50 grand to start your business.
I remember seeing something about Gary
I
V.
want 25%.
Gary V was saying that
Turn down Airbnb. didn't
yeah, twice.
Could you imagine that?
Turned down Airbnb twice, and now
I
that's
would
valued at
shoot
billions.
myself in
And
the face.
Airbnb, even now, has got a lot of room to grow.
Yeah. It's such a simple thing, really, as well. Essentially, it's just.
Do you know what that was made on the back of?
It's Peter. No, I don't.
3 guys were working in a city. Right, let's say for purpose of conversation, they were working in Chicago, but they were from the other side of the country.
Right.
They was
This
trying
is
to
a quality
find
story as well.
a hotel, a cheap hotel, or
such
an
thing
apartment
nowadays, yeah.
that they could rent.
Like on a short-term basis.
Yeah, just for a night or whatever, and
Right,
they were really struggling. So someone offered to give them an airbed in their flat, which is where air comes from.
Airbnb.
It was an airbed and breakfast,
That's clever.
and based on the back of that, they set up this
They're
website.
fucking billionaires.
But it failed multiple times.
I was
They
about to
couldn't
say,
get funding.
I know they got
multiple-
bailed out a couple of times, didn't they? Yeah.
And now each one of them, I think there's 3 of them that created it. Each one of them are multi-billionaires.
Well, I think they also got in a bit of trouble as well because I think they got into a couple of court cases in Australia because they're basically people were creating like credit fraud by using Airbnb. So they were like getting these apartments, renting these apartments, not paying for the rent for however long, renting them out as Airbnbs, allowing other people to stay in them, and then when the landlord eventually had enough and was like, no, I'm like locking you out and I'm taking the flat back. They would just go and rent another flat, do it all over again. And they were making, all this money off the people that were staying, but they weren't paying anything to the person that actually owned the house.
Yeah, that is
And it
fucked
caused
up.
a massive thing in Australia. Massive thing.
Same as Uber in the UK.
Well, yeah.
Killing off taxi firms.
Yeah.
They're not paying corporation tax in the UK because they're not a UK based.
Yeah, because they're not a UK based business. Yeah,
That's why they've been banned in London twice already.
Yeah,
but still operated all the way through.
Yeah, they never stopped. Yeah, it's kind of this whole sort of sneaky thing. I mean, technically, it's also
talking about sneaky things. Do you see that guy thing on Facebook?
Talking about sneaky things, I'm going through shit. You boys keep chatting.
Okay.
Be back in a second.
Guy on Facebook walked into a sex shop in Las Vegas and stole a 3-foot dildo, put it on his shoulder and walked out with it.
I mean, to be fair, you're not going to stop a guy and be like, "Excuse me, sir, have you paid for that free?" Like, fair enough, I can understand why he got away with it. But at the same time, why are you stealing a 3-foot? Like, of all the things, why steal a 3-foot dildo?
Oh, he's probably pissed. It is Las Vegas.
To be fair, yeah, I'm not going to lie. If you were smashed out of your nut and you saw a 3-foot dildo through a window, that'd be fucking hilarious to run out and smack your friend in the face with.
It would.
That would be hilarious.
But I was looking as well on this Secret Lives of the Super Rich.
Oh yeah.
And there's a hotel room in Las Vegas. You have to book 2 nights as a minimum. It's $100,000 a night.
Whoa.
It's the most expensive hotel in America. $100,000 a night. But they will not let you stay there unless you've got £1 million credit line.
What the hell?
Will not let you stay there. And the reason they've done it is this artist has essentially all loads of his art. He's produced loads of art in there, so it's like an art enthusiast dream.
Okay, I get
Who the fuck will pay $100,000 to stay in a hotel?
Well, I suppose the whole thing is it's an experience, you know. It's not a stay; it's an experience.
You could go to fucking Dubai and stay in a 7-star hotel for that.
I mean, this is the
Be
thing.
weighted
Yeah,
on hand and foot.
This is the thing. Is sometimes you do kind of think it is crazy, really. But there's sometimes the amount of value they charge. Whereas, like I was reading the thing the other day. There's a restaurant inside Disneyland itself. And
Club 33.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, and it's like
it's
It's
exclusive.
$15,000. You've got to be like a Disney Plus member. Well,
I
not Disney Plus,
saw
but
another
Disney
video like
member.
I sent you on that. I'll send it to you again.
Honestly, it's crazy listening to it. So yeah, it's like $15,000. It's for you and up to 10 friends, I believe. And it's 3 courses served over like a certain amount of time, and like your drinks are included and all that kind of stuff and everything else. But yeah, basically, again, it's supposed to be an experience. You know, you're supposed to be buying this expensive experience. But again, just below it is the normal restaurant that serves basically the same food. Admittedly, probably not served at the same level, but still similar food.
I think it'll probably be slightly different.
Probably
It'll
slightly
be different ingredients and bits and pieces.
probably cooked in different ways. It's probably going to be a lot faster downstairs. It's going to be, you know, sort of shoved out the window. Whereas, you know, the expensive
Upstairs, you're
restaurant
wined and you're dined, but
exactly.
still, Disneyland's expensive as it is.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a rip-off anyway. I mean, I was talking to another friend of mine actually the other day about this because they went over to America, her and her boyfriend, and they ended up spending $4,000 in a week.
In Disneyland.
And that's not including the flights. It's not including like
it's
the
fucking
stay.
well expensive.
That was including parking because they were paying like $30 a day to be able to park in the car park, which I think is a rip-off. You pay for your tickets. Why are you then having to pay for your car parking every day as well?
There's an urban myth. Actually, I was talking about this on Facebook. I thought it was real, and then, like everything is real on the internet.
Well, yeah.
So it's an urban myth about Bristol Zoo. So I'll just read it out. So outside Bristol Zoo, there's a car park for 150 cars and 8 buses. For 25 years, its parking fares were managed by a very pleasant attendant. The fees were £1.40 for cars, £7 for buses. In one day, a solid 25 years and never missed a day of work. And one day he just didn't show up. So the zoo management called the city council and asked for them to send another parking agent. Council did some research and replied that the car park was the zoo's own responsibility. Zoo advised that the council that the attendant was a city employee. City council responded that the lot attendant had never been on the city payroll. Meanwhile, sitting somewhere was this guy's £560 a day for 25 years, just over £5 million.
No.
Yeah, but it's an urban myth. I was exactly the same. I was like, that fucking jammy bastard worked there for 25 years.
Just turn up in a high-vis jacket, I'm from the council, mate,
I'm from the council, I'm your parking attendant. And that's it.
All he's got to do is turn up every day,
Yeah, every day. For 25 years, £5 million in his pocket cash.
And you just turn up, even if you turn up for half the day and, you just, I'm going to call it a day here. I mean, you've made £200 and he's probably gone home, so he's not going to call the council and be like, your parking attendant's fucked off, mate. So you could probably easily get away with something that's mad.
You probably could get
I'll tell you what that reminds me of, and I'll tell you, this is probably one of the funniest things, one of the funniest stories I've ever seen the video of and I've ever heard. Well, there's a couple of them actually. So this is from my time working at a service station. I won't say which or where it is. but it was from when I was working at a service station, and on a busy main road. And one day, a busy day, it was actually a Saturday weekend. Gentleman walked in with a high-vis jacket and a trolley, you know, the sort of dollies. He hooks it underneath one of the ride-on machines, lifts it up, plugs it, walks out of it. Everyone thinks, you know, okay, you know, they're here to service the machines. It happens quite regularly. Didn't question it. Half hour goes by, guy's not come back. It's like, hang on a minute, this is a bit weird. Hour goes by, the security guard at the time, a good friend of mine, starts to question it. It's like, hang on, this guy hasn't come back for a while now. Goes out to look in the car park. It's gone. So it's like,
why would you nickel the trolleys?
No. He took his dolly in, lifted up a ride-on machine, you know, kids' ride-on machines, unplugged it, and
what?
with the thing, yeah.
Oh.
So they finally went back on camera footage, and he actually showed me it on camera footage. He literally rolls up to the back of his van, opens the back of his van doors, hooks the front up, uses the dolly to lift it, pushes it in the back of his van, throws the dolly in, closes the doors, drives off. The machine full of money that he's just walked away with.
I wouldn't have the conscience to do that.
Not a single person stopped him. Not a single person questioned him. He was wearing a high-vis jacket.
You get away with anything when you're wearing a high-vis jacket.
And the funny thing was, a very similar thing actually ended up happening again a little bit later. So they have a gambling section in the service station. We've all been in there at some point or another. Lewis more than the rest of us. But we've all been in there, you know, at some point or another. And they've got a cash room at the back. I don't know if you know where I mean.
Yeah.
That door at the back, they've got a cash room at the back there. So obviously they've got to get the coins changed up. So the coins get bagged up and someone comes along and collects it. So guy turns up, again, high-vis jacket, and turns up with a wheelbarrow. Again, no one questions this at any point at all. And they load up his wheelbarrow with all the coins. He goes off to his car, and again his van, loads up, drives off. The guy gets a bit curious because he's like, well, normally I've got to sign a thing, and he's got to, you know, sign the log and, you know, confirm it's been taken. And obviously the guy just drove off. Called up. He had nothing to do with the cash collection agency. He was just a random guy that knocked on the back of the door.
You've got to have some balls.
And literally, he got like 10 grand, I think, or something stupid like that. Like he got.
And the thing is, all you need to do is go online and buy some fake number plates for the same model car.
The truth is, mate, in reality, you don't even have to do that. Most people just take them off other people's cars.
Yeah,
that's what most people do.
That's fucking mental.
One thing I would say to everyone listening out there: if you've got a motor vehicle at home, make sure that your license plate is not stuck on with double-sided tape. Make sure it's at least screwed on, it's drilled into the bumper, and it's attached properly to your vehicle.
Surely that comes as standard.
No, the amount of how many cars have we sold where you literally put double-sided tape on the back of the number plate and stick it to the back of the car?
Stick it on.
Yeah, done.
Yeah. Don't screw them on. Screws cost money.
Yeah.
Parts department.
If you think you can go to parts and ask for a screw,
mate, they want a job for it. Yeah, 30p. I want a job for it.
And you
want what?
A job. So you need a job card. So you need to go to your manager and say, I need you to raise a line saying that I need 30p for screws.
Yeah, and that's bullshit. So why? Why are they cutting pennies there? They'll happily knock off an extra 500 quid for you if you say that's the difference between me taking the car and not. But they won't give you 30p.
Well, you see, that's the funny thing is, in the parts section, there's no margin. They have no margin. That is the price. That's the price I have to sell it at, and that is it. Whereas in the showroom, on the entire car, they've got a margin.
Yeah, but if you went there and said, look, we're sending it 500 above.
They don't care. They're a separate entity.
Yeah. The parts and the car, two
parts department earns more money off of sales than they do off of customers.
Yeah.
There was one time I was working at a
what does that even mean?
In Cambridge. They're all separate. So when we go there, we can't just go and get something. They bill sales department for it. Yeah. One time I was getting some private.
At the end of the month, the showroom will get a full itemised bill of what we've charged through to the parts department, and that's when he'll then come round and be like, "What the fuck are you doing? You put this much through to fucking parts, and we've got to find this money."
I had to get some private number plates made up for a customer. While the manager weren't in. So I went to the parts department. I went to the parts department and I was like, the manager's not in, can I get these made up? He was like, no. So I ended up paying for them out of my own pocket because I didn't want to disappoint the customer.
Yeah, you better have gone to house.
I had 15 quid.
I'm not even joking, mate. I've had to do it before.
I was earning money then though. I'm not
Yeah,
earning
That's the
money
thing.
now.
That's the thing. It's when it's like
Well,
£8
that
for a
fif-
number plate or whatever. You're like, yeah. I'll just
That
pay
15 quid back to you now would be nice.
That would be quite nice now, actually.
Swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, I'm going to be trying to quit smoking, Bill. I ordered myself a vape.
It's a good idea. You vaped for a long time
Love a
before.
bit of
You
popcorn,
vaped
man.
for a long time before. You're more than capable of doing it.
Well, I mean, you do know all of that is bullshit.
Probably.
Do you know the real research, if you check on the government website, is that vaping is 99.9% better for you
Really?
on actual government
See, I always
research.
found it fucked with my asthma quite a lot.
I think the problem
Because what vapes do compared to cigarettes, so cigarettes close the pores in your lungs, whereas vapes open your pores up. What does
Yeah.
opens them up? So what your body is thinking you're doing is your pump all the time. So that's why your asthma is probably kicking off a bit, because it basically does exactly the same thing as what your pump does,
to be honest
but
with you,
without the chemicals.
I think it's more simple than that, mate. I think it's because he was smoking and vaping at the same time.
Yeah, it might
I
be.
think that's literally what it was. Because
That don't help, but that is actually what vaping does in comparison
we
to
were
what
having to,
smoking.
we were having to vape in the showrooms because as actually,
Well, when we were allowed to.
technically, obviously, you're not supposed to, but we were allowed.
Well,
at that
before
time.
when
We were allowed
smoking
at
was
that time,
banned,
yeah.
but vaping wasn't.
We were allowed at that time. But
I used to go into my manager. My manager would just sit there.
like he'd have like a cloud around him. Honestly,
Yeah.
his office would be a
It's
cloud. He'd have a
mental.
glass office, and it'd just be a cloud.
Yeah, and he was allowed to.
Yeah, and then a
Imagine
memo
20
went
years
round.
ago, that would be cigarettes. People walking into a showroom.
You got to bear in mind, you walk out your
Smoking
show.
cinemas
Yeah,
and bits
you walk
and
out your showroom,
pieces.
mate.
I remember
Essentially,
that.
You've lost money.
I remember smoking in pubs.
Yeah, I remember all of it.
smoking.
I remember being able to smoke wherever the fuck I wanted to smoke. There would be ashtrays everywhere.
I'll tell you what I used to love about
Cinemas, pubs, service stations.
Yeah, I must admit, yeah, service stations.
It
one
is
of those
better
funny
now.
things,
You
they never
can't
really.
smoke in those places.
Yeah, I think it gives you a nice break, but
Yeah.
especially as they don't accept vaping in those places. But I don't. Of smoking now, the research that you're saying about popcorn lung and is authorised and promoted and put out
By
there
tobacco.
By
by tobacco companies that
course
don't
it
want
is.
you
Yeah,
to
no
stop
doubt.
smoking.
Of course it is.
I remember.
The only way you'll get sorry mate to interrupt again, but just on the same subject is
I think you're better off not smoking at all.
you're better off not doing anything. And I can't even remember what I was going to say.
They
There.
did the same thing originally when all the Nicorette stuff came out and everything else. They did the same thing. They're like, oh, you know, there's no proven health benefit. You know,
Let me tell you one thing that did happen. I went on to the patches.
Mate, that made me sick.
The dreams that I had the most fucked up dreams I've ever had in my life if I went to sleep with a nicotine patch on.
Oh, really?
I mean, like, next level fucked up dreams. So, that weren't for me.
No. I remember them little white inhalators that they had.
Oh,
And
Yeah,
it
which
feels
were
like-
effectively the first vapes.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it felt
and
like you were
they were
sucking in
disgusting.
fiberglass.
Yeah,
Yes,
On the back
it
of the
literally
front.
felt like
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they
remember
were
you
awful.
got me to try it, and I felt sick
Yeah, I
for
couldn't-
about an
I
hour
couldn't
after,
stick
'cause
with
it's
that for
awful.
very long.
And you know what's mad?
What?
A successful amount of people quit cigarettes because of them.
Yeah, because it felt like
To be
shit.
fair, after 3 or 4 days of doing that to yourself, you're going to be like, you know what, this really ain't worth it. But I
No,
do
and
understand
then
actually,
yeah,
it's
well,
quite a
I
psych-
did.
it's quite a
That's
psychological
literally
thing.
what I did.
It's quite a psychological thing.
So I went back to smoking.
Yeah, see that's see that's
Because I weren't off it. Not like a vape.
Yeah.
Now I'll have a smoke when I'm drinking and stuff. But I actually prefer a vape day to day at home.
Yeah, I must admit, it's funny because looking back, I didn't like it when we first started doing it, but I think it's because at the time it was so new.
Do you remember?
Because it was so new. Because we used to go down that shop, didn't we? Nearly every week.
Don't get me wrong. It was nothing like a cigarette, especially after a few.
No, and the thing is, you can tell the difference.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
But
at
if
the
you're
same
not
time-
pissed or not, if your mind's in the same place, honestly, I promise you, I prefer if I had a higher nicotine. So I've cut my nicotine right down.
What I like is if you put a lower nicotine in them, you can sit there and puff them all day.
That's what I've
That's what I like
I've
about
done.
it,
I've
yeah.
got them for a 0.3.
Yeah, sit and,
But you can sit there, play your game,
Yeah.
and just sit and chuff away.
You can sit
You
and
don't have
chuff
to.
them
You
all
don't
day.
have to pause it to go for a fag.
No, just sit and smoke.
And even when you die,
And I've
you've
got
got that controller throwdown moment. Instead, you just
Yeah, mate, I've
Yeah,
been
like
there
a
many
rage
times,
inhale,
and
yeah.
it saved me a couple of controllers.
I've gone for
As long as you don't throw your vape.
a brand. Gone for a brand called Red Juice, and they do this real nice passion fruit, mango, and grapefruit one.
I have that if I eat too many strawberries.
Vile. Well, that way you had to shoot off today. Phew. Gonna shoot yourself off. Done.
Oh, okay, that's brilliant.
Mental, isn't it?
That is.
What were we talking about before we got into smoking? That's what I was going to say. When you used to be able to buy a pack of 10 fags. When you're a bit
Yes.
broke.
I
and
Honestly,
you're
miss
like,
that.
completely honestly,
I miss
what is
that.
the cheapest you remember a packet of 10 Mayfair?
£1.97, I think, round about there.
You remember that, do you?
£1.97. I
Was
remember
that
my
on-
nan would be like, go get some Fergs.
196 is the, and it was bright yellow with a little red thing on the edge.
Yeah, the yellow
£1
box with the red outline.
Yeah, that is £1.96, and that's when I was buying them though.
I think
Yeah.
I think I remember it being about £2.4 when I was buying them because I was buying them for us because I was the only one at like 13 years old that was like 6 foot and had facial hair.
Yeah,
So I
because
was
you used to be
buying
able to buy them at
Yeah.
16.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I
you
was
can
like
smoke
13 at the time and
you
then
shag
7.
someone
When-
at
when I
16,
was-
but you can't drink at 16.
When I was 17 and a half, I'd been smoking legally, buying cigarettes from shops for a year and a half. And then all of a sudden I wasn't allowed to buy cigarettes again.
Yeah.
It was a fucked up thing.
But then again, the old chaps in the shop will probably still sell you.
But that's the funny
No, they
thing.
didn't.
Did they?
No, they knew I was 17.
Well, that's what you should have done then. It's got your
No, I'd
old
still
cash.
get them, no problem.
You just go into the pub and buy them at 10 quid a fucking pack.
No,
for £2
yeah,
now.
from
No,
Chap, yeah.
no. All you have to do is go into the pub and who remembers the old little machine?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were the same price. They were still cheap, and you just press it. You got to be sneaky.
You got a pack of 9.
Put them
yeah.
in,
You got
press the
pack
button.
of 9, not a pack of 10, pack of 9.
Yeah,
9
you
or
could do that.
19.
9 royals.
Yeah.
That is what you used to get. You get
Yeah.
9 in a pack.
Yeah, you get a pack of 9.
Fucking-
Come!
I used to make me laugh so much the machine was taking a percentage of your fags. It's
Yeah,
brilliant.
Oh,
Where they made money.
Before they even got them, they're like, well, we're only
Every
giving
10
you
person that buys one, they've made another
Yeah,
pack.
they made another
Oh,
pack. It's a very clever idea. It's
We
very,
went
very
in the
clever.
pub with a chap
Talking
called
about facts,
Tom.
someone sort me out. Well,
We went in in the pub with a chap called Tom.
you can go back at home.
He was
Yeah,
over
thank
the
God for
age
that.
of 18.
I
I
wanna
think
take
I
the
was,
one.
I just grabbed a clump.
I was 16, turning
Chuck 'em
17.
in, Phil. Yeah.
He's got. And we went into the pub, and the landlords in the pub are Chinese, so we went in there, and we were like,
I
"Oh,
hope that's relevant
no,
to
it
this.
is." And we were like, "Andy, it's my birthday."
Yeah.
And he was like,
This is
"What do
how
you
we
mean
got
it's your
served for
birthday?"
like
I was
2
like, "Yeah, it's
years.
my 18th birthday today. I'm coming in here for my first pint." He was like,
We've been so
"You're
for
not
like 2
18." And I
years.
turned around to Tom. I was like, "Tell him." And Tom was a little bit older. He was like, "Yeah, we're fine." He's turned 18 today. Just turned 17, like 16 and a bit, turned 17. And they were like, "Oh, well done, like pint of Foster's, please, Andy."
And he did it.
For a year, I was getting served in.
This
that pub.
was for all of us. This
Thinking I
was
was
for all of us.
18.
Since we were 16, we were getting served.
We
in
had
that
the
pub.
cheek to go in there on
On
our
our
18th
18th, we did all of our 18th
birthday.
in
Celebrate
there.
our
We did all
18th
of our
birthday
18th
in there.
The best one by far. So there was obviously.
It's my 18th again, Andy.
So yeah, Andy.
Look-
My real
Look
one.
at my ID.
So Andy comes out into the smoking area, right? And we're all stood out there. And I think
Naughty boy.
there's a bunch of us. There's
Young boy.
I think you're there, Shreese is there, Andrew's there. This was back when he was still drinking cider, so he was getting paralytic still.
Yeah.
And
Young boy.
and he
What
said,
you
"Oh,
doing,
so
young
what
boy?"
are you boys all out celebrating?" And Andrew goes, "Oh yeah, it's my 18th today." And we're all like, "Oh, you idiot!" Because we've been drinking in there for like 2 years at this point, and we're like. Oh,
We're his older brothers.
and then
Friends.
no, he means 19. He means 19.
He's just pissed
been,
already.
Yeah, he's been that smash blessing. Yeah, we had to basically convince Andy that he'd got the dates wrong.
I'll tell you
My
what,
18th birthday, I went to a rave in Cambridge and I did MDMA for the first time on my 18th, and it was one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life.
My experience with MDMA has got to be the most absolutely let down thing in my life.
because they probably just get you paracetamol.
No, so I met you and Elle and a few other people and all that at Warning, and we'd been there for a good couple of hours. We were getting on it, and you know we'd done a bit of
I
Andy
used
and
to
everything.
love Warning.
Ash,
Andrew
well,
fell
no,
asleep.
you got
in
bored at
Warning.
this
Mate,
point.
that is one of the best stories in the world.
Yeah,
got bored
he
at this
fell
point.
asleep in a rave, just
Yeah.
crawled up.
No,
in the
no, the
corner.
best thing about that story is the fact that he was the designated driver. So he hadn't drunk anything, not a drip, because that is Andrew. If he's designated driver, he won't even have a shandy. Yeah,
Well, you
designated
should get
driver.
him on here soon.
He got
What?
to
I'll pinch one for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
It got to 5 a.m. and he was feeling a bit worse for wear. Not because he was drunk, because he was fucking shattered. So he went upstairs. Cheers, mate. He went upstairs to try and chill out a little bit, maybe find a cup of coffee. And up there, he decides to sit down, take a perch, and he falls asleep. Bearing in mind, he falls asleep because he's tired. He's at a rave. It's 5 o'clock. He's not done any drink, any drugs, whatever it is. He gets kicked out for being too pissed because he'd fallen asleep in a rave. Because every other person they'd kicked out that night for falling asleep was off their head.
Yeah, of course.
So they looked at Andrew and went, you know what, Terry, we've got another fucking paralytic one. Look, the cunt's falling asleep. Think how drunk he is. We've got 25 decibel music going on.
We should probably explain he's an army lad. So
yeah, he don't drink.
If he
well,
Mate, he spent a lot of time in Jordan.
If he wants to sleep somewhere,
He
whether
can
that,
sleep.
whether that be, you know, a paved floor or a bed, don't matter. He will sleep there. If you
Anyway,
can get
yeah.
your head down there, he will put his head
I
down.
went
there
out
and
on a
he will
night
sleep.
out once. Talking about Andy, I'm
when
gonna
he
have to
fell
send him the link.
When he fell asleep.
Yeah, hold on. So we went out and we got back. Me and my missus go to bed. She wakes up in the middle of the night. Andrew's asleep downstairs on a sofa. She wakes up in the middle of the night to go to the toilet, and he's asleep on our bedroom floor. He's curled up in a ball, asleep on our bedroom
What a good little
floor.
boy.
So he fucking, she had to like manoeuvre around him and
What?
bash
How did he end
bash
up-
him in the head with the door to try
How
and
did he
move
end
him.
up in there?
We don't know. He was just that ratted.
He just
He's
walked
obviously-
upstairs.
He's probably come upstairs to ask if he can have a drink or something. He fucking fell asleep on the floor.
Doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise
And this is
me
the
at
same
all.
person we're
It
talking.
doesn't surprise me at all.
Oh, he's a legend.
So, a similar thing happened. We actually went to meet up with your cousin, didn't we? And we ended up we got a free VIP booth.
Was that in Revs or something?
No, that was when we went down to see him. It was at one of them was at uni or something.
Oh yeah, in fucking
And we got
Norwich.
we had a VIP booth in one of the clubs, and we'd all been out on the dance floor. We'd just come back from the smoking area. Andrew was watching the drinks. Come back in. I'm not joking. Andrew is in the corner. He's got both arms over the back. His neck is fully flung over to the
Sober.
side. His neck's on the other.
Sober.
His neck's on the other chair. Like he's that far back, and he's just dribbling, like snoring,
Completely
a lot,
asleep.
fully out cold. Like to a stage, people are like pointing and laughing at him as they walk
Thinking
past.
that he's paralytic.
Thinking that he's smashed out of his nut.
he's actually just
And he's
tired.
just sober and
He's
tired.
literally just
Just tired.
He's literally just
The boy is tired. How do you explain that to a bouncer when they assume that
But
you're
this is the
being...
funny thing. So a bouncer
off it
actually
road.
ended up coming over to us. We ended up actually basically having to convince the bouncer
that he was fine?
we literally just picked him up from the train station. He just got back, if I remember correctly. We just picked him up from the train station. Literally drove straight there to then go meet. So he hasn't slept in like a day, 2 days. Like,
and he's
been up
just
for like 2
sparko
days.
in the middle of the club.
Yeah, doesn't matter where it is. He's
That's
just
brilliant.
conked out, bless him.
My funniest story being pissed. One of them. I went on a weekend away with my cousin and some of her friends to Norwich because they were at uni there, and I got
Is this about the kid?
yeah, I got so fucking pissed that I went into this club because there's a club by the halls
In the campus, yeah.
on the campus. So I went in there, and bear in mind, Cambridge prices ain't cheap. I went in there and I was like, it's £1.50 for Jaeger bombs. Oh, I'll have all of them. Like, fucking-
All of your Jaeger bombs, please.
You didn't hear me right. All of them.
All
Right,
of
so
your
I ended
Jaeger
up
bombs.
having like 11 Jaeger bombs, and everyone else had walked off while I was waiting for them, and I couldn't find them because I'm pissed by that
Yeah, you
point.
smashed them
So
Jaeger
I
bombs,
smashed a
yeah.
load of
did
Jaeger
11
bombs. No, I smashed a load of them and started giving them out to random strangers because I
That sounds
can't drink
about right,
11
yeah, that
Jaeger
sounds
bombs.
about
And I was like, I can't fucking find them. Went everywhere, ratted by this point because I've had like 4 or 5 Jaeger bombs plus what I was drinking anyway. I'm like, I'm gonna go back to the halls. So I went, but like they're gonna be coming back there soon anyway. So I went and I sat down and I got there. And I'm like, I ain't got the fucking key. I'm like, what a twat. So I sat outside.
Why didn't you go back?
What? I didn't know where they were.
No,
so
to
I
the
went
club.
find them. I don't know. I'm pissed. I just sat there on the doorstep.
Depressed.
Like people are.
You have that rational
I'm
thought
that
though,
pissed.
you're like,
Right?
people won't find me.
I'm that pissed that people are going in and out of the doors. I'm not even thinking about them asking them to hold it open. I'm just sat outside on the step waiting for them like a lot.
What if they'd
puppy.
opened it? You
Yeah, I was just sitting
walked in,
there. Yeah. Then for like an hour and a half, 2 hours later, my cousin and her mate rock up, and it's like, why are you not gone in? I'm like, well, you got the key. She was like, no, you got the key. I had it in my pocket the whole fucking time. I was sat and waited outside for hours, waiting for them to come back, and I had the key in my fucking pocket the whole time.
Talking about drunken stories, I remember that time we were at a bus stop once, and one of our friends decided that to try and be cool, they'd take a shit in the middle of the street. So this bloke goes over, pulls down his kegs, has a big old turd in the middle of the street. Obviously,
on the path.
on the
not
path,
street.
and takes a full dump.
We're young at this point. As
Yeah.
well.
And we were
2 litre bottle of Strongbow.
yeah,
Oh.
intoxicated. Anyway, don't have hangovers at that age. So
Yeah.
the next day, 11 o'clock in the morning, we're back on the same bench because that was our drinking bench. And a woman with a dog is walking up the road, and we know where that shit is. we pinpoint. We it's in our peripheral vision. We already know that if she don't take the right footsteps,
Shit in it.
she's stepping in that shit.
Yeah.
Obviously, she steps right in the shit. We all start creasing because she's just trotting shit. And her exact words were, bloody dogs.
Oh, it was one of the funniest experiences of my life. Filthy, disgusting, but so funny.
she stepped directly in.
I'll tell you what, one of my favourite ones to this day.
Buying cheap BB guns at Oakington Market and then going into the golf course and shooting each other through all the trees and stuff.
That was great fun. But one of the funniest ones to this day was we must have been about 16. We must have been 16. Me and you must have been 16.
Yeah,
we were on heads at the time. It was we had quite a lot of bad snow that year. It was like a record-breaking thing for snow that year, and I decided it was a really good idea to ride my moped in the snow from Swavesey to Long Stanton down the back roads, like through deep snow. Made it, not a single issue. But yeah, so we were chilling at the same bench as Lou said earlier, and just sort of minding our own business, weren't we? And we realised the buses were still running, but people were throwing snowballs, weren't they, off the buses? And we decided that we were going to get them back. So we sat there and we made this gigantic snowball. This thing was massive. Like me spread eagled is smaller than this snowball was. And I'm 6'4".
5 foot, 6 foot wide.
Honestly, this thing was massive, right? And we just kept rolling it to get it bigger. We just kept rolling it up the street to make it bigger and bigger and bigger. And we roll it right in front of the bus when it stops at the bus stop. And we just walk off and leave it there. And this bus driver, bless him, he just don't know what to do. He's panicking, bless him. He can't get it in reverse to go back round. Oh, it was absolutely hilarious.
God, I won't think
Oh,
about
it's
doing
so
anything like
funny.
that now. It's
That's
mad
the-
that
that's
when
the
you
thing.
get older, you think, what a twat.
Back then it was so funny, so funny. I mean, even now, still remembering it. I think it was the bus driver's face when he realised that we'd trapped him, and he just sort of looked at us with that panicked look on his face. It was just absolutely hilarious.
Right, so we'll leave it there because we're getting on for an hour and 20 minutes.
Cool.
Again, thank you all for listening.
Cheers, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Make sure you, if you have listened, leave us a 5-star review, like our stuff on Facebook. Just pass it on to your friends. They might like to hear what we chat shit
Comment,
about.
like, subscribe.
Yeah, that's it.
All of
Lovely.
that stuff.
Thank you. Cheers.